Bigger things on the horizon.
I can't wait to see
Can you
it.
believe it's been a year since I quit boozing?
That's intense. It's like I don't know, like a ephemera, long lost great life that I had.
Well, you haven't just quit boozing. You've quit fucking life.
Oh no!
Yeah, get it.
Au contraire, mon frère.
PR's getting fucking loose with it. I can see. Hey,
That-
before let me
had
get
too
some more of
many
this wine
gooseberries
before he
before the
finishes
show.
that off. Because PR's getting fucking loose right now. I can feel it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been challenging for us, muggles, normal people.
God, you just lost all credibility with a fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
God, dude.
But it would be nice to see you around more often.
He's been making an attempt. He's been coming out.
Yeah, it's been coming out.
I've got rules and boundaries for my happenings, man.
Like I normally fade at 8 p.m. Trevor normally fades now just before 6. He's out.
Well, he goes to bed at 6.
Yeah.
You're about
Usually.
7.
7.
Seven.
7.
6 is my wind down. It's my screen-free Zen moment of Zen.
I think that's a really good discipline though, to have that, to stop the screen time at a point.
Recover. So right now I'm trying to put on a solid minimum 15 pounds of lean muscle. Recovery is the most important part of that. Sleeping is the most important part of that.
I mean,
So I'm all in on my tracker, my health tracker sleep score. It's got to be on, man. Or else everything that I'm doing, all the pain that I'm going through, eating all the food that I am is all for naught.
I think sleeping is so fucking lame, but at the same time, especially as I've gotten a little bit older, I recognize how important it is, and I do it,
Well, if you do it like without the alcohol, and I do it probably a few times in the week, I do find that my next day is so much better.
Of course.
And so,
I just think it sucks. Like, I think it's like a fucking cosmic fuck you that, okay, here's what you get. You get, if you're really lucky, like if you're in probably top 15% of people, probably less, you get 80 years on the planet before you die. But as an added bonus, what you get is the first 10, 11 years, you have no recollection of whatsoever because you're a child. The last 10 years are a fucking nightmare. Like of just, even if you're totally with it with your brain, your body's completely falling apart. So now you've got
60 years.
59, 60 years. And guess what we're going to do? You got to sleep a third of that. So really you get 40 years of being awake. That's it. That's all you get. You get 40 years of being awake and knowing and enjoying and experiencing. So, I mean, I hate it. I've always fought against it. But at the same time, you're waking, those 40 years of being awake and being able to party are a nightmare if you don't adequately sleep and take care of yourself.
The thing is with the sleep as well is that the better you sleep and the more you optimize it, you actually have a more productive day. So I think you end up having a better day. You have a better mood.
I mean, that's what I was saying.
Everything else. So I think, I used to also do the thing where I'd sleep erratically, sometimes sleep at 11, 12, sometimes sleep at 9, 10. There was no benefit that I was getting out of my sleep. But now I tend to go to bed every night. I don't do as early as Trevor, but I go in, I normally at bed at 10.
Yeah, me too.
And I get up at 5. And I find that routine really does help.
I agree.
With the way I function. Just the alcohol every now and then, probably once or twice a week, messes me up.
Well, I'll be hanging with Trevor pretty soon because whenever this airs, January, I'll be sober.
Sober month.
Sober bird.
So
do you know that though? Talking about January, is that America turns 250 years
this year.
If
we're airing in January,
2026.
Well, I think we're airing in January, so this year,
2026,
we will be
250 years.
That's pretty fucking
since
rad,
the
man.
signing of our Declaration.
Happy
of
birthday,
Independence.
America!
Yeah, you know that I'm on the committee, the 250-year celebration committee.
The committee
planning
that was
the events for next year.
Yes.
And what I'm planning, the thing that I'm working on.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
Well, I'm kind of getting my team together. that's going to work
to
on
plan something great,
the greatest event that
which is going to be a surprise and yet to be revealed.
you want me to hold back on it?
I don't think you should blow the load
I
right
don't
up
even know
front.
what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I think you should wait till everything's in
Everything's
motion.
ready?
And
Yeah, man. Oh,
And
I'm
then make
part
a
of
big
it.
announcement.
under promise, over
I'm
deliver.
part of it, and I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about,
Yeah.
man. Is it something having to do with the American flagged Speedos?
Yes.
Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I want to ask your guys' assessment, opinion, perspective on predictive threat modeling. I've noticed, and I want to understand for myself if I need to change something, or if I would like to change something, or if the way that I feel like I'm built can stay the same, and that's just the way that I'm built, and I should utilize and focus this deal. And
Very
predictive threat
interesting,
modeling, I
very
understand.
Self-fixing, very self-awareness. I like it.
Predictive threat modeling, I understand, actually has more to do with like technology, cybersecurity. But I'm making a parallel.
You're co-opting the term.
Yeah.
I like it.
Predictive threat modeling is when you anticipate threats in the future, problem solve. And I think as business owners and entrepreneurs and event throwers, like, we are wired. There are certain people that are born with this functionality. People can also adopt and assimilate this technique, but I'm trying to figure out if it's a downfall. So the example is, and I'm just going to be absolutely transparent, probably against my better judgment, revealing some information, because I hope people don't listen to this.
Well, we can always mark and erase, but that also means that if you say it and we don't mark and erase,
no, it's an entire episode. So
pretty rad.
I went through a hiring process for an esthetician at the barbershop, and I think I do pretty damn good going through the steps to hire somebody. And above and beyond, I pay attention to everything. Body language, hairdo, outfit, facial expressions, voice tonality, like everything. In this specific instance, I picked up that the lady that I was most interested in was wearing an engagement ring, went through the hiring deal, decided that she fit the bill, made the hire, and then started to connect a little bit more personally, finding out that she was recently engaged. And here's where the circumstances set in, where I go, all right, I am going to have to anticipate her emotional attention going to planning a wedding, taking time off for the wedding, and taking time off for a honeymoon, which could well put her over the allotted time that I have in the employee handbook.
And if she's planning on sticking around for more than a year and a half.
Correct.
Children.
Correct. So I weigh all those options, and this isn't the main focus that I'm getting to, but in and of itself, I am training myself to not way overdo the anticipation. So like I make these assessments and kind of stop myself at a certain point. I'm like, all right, you've cycled through enough potential foreshadowing. Let's see what happens. That's besides the point. The point is, lady started, everything's going groovy. There was a sick day. Next day she came in, eyes were blasted, and I thought she was stoned. I thought she was stony baloney. Then caught wind through shop gossip that over the weekend she broke off her engagement. So a couple things, again, besides the point, like the sick day made me feel better. Like that's totally totally acceptable.
Oh yeah.
I get it. It made me feel like she wasn't dicking me around. Like I was like, all right, this makes sense now. Cool. But the thing that I was worried about with myself is I immediately went, instead of feeling sympathetic, I immediately went to shit, now I don't have to worry about her taking time off. And
I don't think that's wrong of you.
Really?
I think my initial when she just said that, like, if I were the business owner in your situation, I don't even know that I'd be worried to express it. But I think she's just become a better fucking employee.
Dude, I went through exactly those sentiments.
Immediately.
I went, she's not going to take time off, and I feel that most people, when they go through something like that, focus on work more, bury themselves in work. And I'm like, shit, this is a win-win for me.
They recreate themselves.
But then my problem is, or my assessment of myself is, I get to the end of that and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to feel sorry for somebody that is probably going through something pretty heavy. And I start to question myself, like, should I feel sorry up front and then worry about or then focus on the problem solving aspects?
I don't think you really control how you feel. I think you control how you make other people feel. And as long as you make her feel like she's accepted, that she's supported, you're fine. And that's why I was saying, to me, you're like, listen, like what you're going through, we think of ourselves as a fucking family of workers here. We'll offer you what support we can, but I'm excited to see what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see you fucking grind and create yourself. Like, fuck him or her, I guess. And just fucking whatever it is that you're going to do, let's fucking rage.
Well, I'm wondering how often other people, I had the breakdown of the scenario. There's a couple other scenarios. I'm not really sure if it's worth going into because I think you guys get the gist, but did the breakdown with the intuitive muse over breakfast the other day and just explored. I want to know what you guys do in life, in business. Are you sympathetic? Are you empathetic when people go through something, or are you? So one of the other things that I picked up through this is that guys are problem solvers first and foremost, and women are emotional beings.
Well, and the problem solving nature of dudes is usually not what women or anybody who's going through something, that's not what they're looking for. Like, when they're going through some shit, the last thing they want is like, this is what you need to do to fix it, which is always my go-to. It's like, here's what you do to fix it. I don't think they really want that. They want to, like, develop and feel what's going on and come to a conclusion that makes them better. When really I'm just like, fucking, it's easy. Here's the decision. Here's what you do. Here's how you fix it. So, I mean, PR, are you the same way, or are you more like, you're looking at me like you're more empathetic?
No, well, I'd say that I would come across as being more empathetic. I think that any sort of challenge that members of our team go through as a business owner, you want to make sure that the business, that's your first and foremost responsibility, is to make sure that the business continues to operate and remain strong, right? So that is something that you make very clear in your business, I do in mine, and I imagine Nick does in his, is that that's what we all come to work to do, right? We all come to work in order to make this business the strongest it can possibly be. And that's a consistent message that I would give in my team, and I imagine in your team. However, we all live in the real world, and we know that from time to time we are going to go through difficult times.
Yeah.
What members of the team that you value need to know is that you are always there for them, no matter what. If you got a tough challenge at 1 o'clock in the morning, if you having a breakup like she did, she's going to come to you and you are going to share the load with her. Because the reality is that in a work environment with people that you value, if they know that they always have that you always have their back, right? They're going to be so much more loyal and make sure that despite all their challenges, they bring their best themselves to the job. And that to me would be why we come to work. We're not coming to work because we're friends. We come to work because we want to earn a living. And they need, in order for them to earn a living, your business needs to be the strongest it can be. Mm. And as long as you articulate that clearly, so when she or any one of the others have an issue, they come to you first.
think you hit the nail on the head.
Well, I agree with you, but I want to know, do you ever feel sympathetic for people or not?
No, I have to genuinely feel that way. So if, for example, a member of my team loses a husband, for example, right? She needs to know that I am going to feel the grief as much, and whatever time she needs to be able to grieve and go through that process, I got you.
I had something recently happen that's very similar to that. One of my employees had a breakdown, nervous breakdown, basically.
Mid shift?
No, kinda.
No,
but it was like out of nowhere, this person had to leave. I have, there's 8 at my firm now, but this person had to leave, had to get their shit together. It was clear that they were very worried about it. But it was something that I think, me as a employer, it made me feel good to be able to be like, you figure your shit out. You tell me if you can come back. If, it becomes a problem, it becomes a problem. Like, I am running a business and I have to run a business. Until such time as it becomes a problem where I can't deal with it anymore, we'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. But now I'd rather invest the resources in this person to continue the path that we were going in than start over with somebody else who's got their own unique problems, especially when this person has already proven themselves to be an excellent employee. So I get what you're saying. Like, it's a tightrope between, you're like, this is my business. This is what I have to do to survive. And it's not just me, but all my other employees also depend on this business being successful. So I'm not just now responsible for myself and my own best interests. I'm responsible for all these other people. And if this person's dragging it down, it's bad. But you're also tightroping that with what kind of example am I setting if I'm not supporting this person? What kind of person am I if I'm not supporting this person? So, I mean, I see the conflict.
My main concern for myself is that whenever I do something, I commit 100%. Yeah. And so when
I'm a not 100% to anything guy.
I don't turn off my conflict is that I'm not able to turn off my business side, and that every aspect of my life, even home, personal relationship, falls victim to problem solving and future forecasting, and I don't leave time for emotions.
Well,
but in all honesty, I kind of don't give a shit.
Well, let me tell you what I think. I can make an argument that obviously the view that you're saying, the way that you live your life, has served you extremely well. But I can make a counter argument to it. What did you call it at the beginning? Future predictive failure?
Yeah, predictive threat modeling.
So, I mean, really, that's a fancy word for anxiety. Like, that's a fancy word for worry. And what happens is...
I did research that part. There is a differentiation, and I don't get anxiety from
all worrying is creating future scenarios and how you'll deal with them.
It's really creating a SWOT analysis.
Fair. So the point I'm getting at is, when you do something, I never do anything. There's nothing ever 100% to me. Like, it's always some shade of hedge. Like, I have a hedge in every decision I make, and everything that I do, I've got a way out. I've got different predictive models of what I may do. And what comes along with that is this not absolute fear of, if I'm 100% on something and it fucking fails, I have no backup. But really what you get from that is a lot of existential waste, a lot of existential worry. When you're 100% on something, all you can do is focus on what's going to go wrong with that 100% decision you made.
I've come to the conclusion that thinking that I'm a psychopath for not feeling anything up front.
Be a sociopath, not a psychopath.
And then
anyway,
asking the question, am I wrong for doing that, means that I'm not. Like, having the thought, like, should I or shouldn't I, at least that's, a step in the right direction. I think that a true crazy person wouldn't even consider that they do or don't feel.
If what you're getting
they
to
do
the
or don't
bottom
feel
of,
sympathetic.
that you're worried that your lack of empathy for your employee that you barely know is that you're a psychopath or a sociopath, I think the answer is no. That's not. You're right. Like they don't. A sociopath, psychopath, they don't even calculate shit like that. Like it's not
Right.
something. It'd be the same as you going. I'm hungry. I should scratch my back. Like it's totally different sensations to them. They don't connect, and to you, obviously, it does. That is not something you'd be concerned about. Like you guys have both stated on the podcast that you've like cried, you've gotten emotional at times. These are things that somebody who has a true problem with empathy is incapable of doing. So, I think you're good there. Like really, I think the more apt question is, for you to continue to explodingly grow like your barber company is, and you do so with a niche of clients and excellent staff, you need to be a leader in a way that shows that, yes, you are concerned, but you're weighing that against, I'm concerned with people and their personal experiences, but also I'm running a fucking business and you can't fuck with me, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that, with Trevor, I would say that he doesn't give a shit. And he comes across as that. So in reality, as long as you're authentic in what you're doing.
Well, thanks for your fucking input, bro.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't.
And you don't give a shit, and you don't. What you said two things.
No, you don't. And
you don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit,
clear.
and you make it very clear that you don't give a shit. So the reality is that as long as the people in your organization understand that, and that she understands that, and then she's good with that, right? The challenge that people have is that if they think you care, and then when they go through a tough time, you actually say to them, look, go figure it out. Just make sure you're at work at 10 o'clock in the morning and you're here until 6. And they're like, what the fuck is this? I didn't know this guy to be this, right?
That's interesting.
Whereas with you, on the other hand, that your message is very clear right from the outset, right? This is all about the business and about being presentable and doing a great job. I don't really care about what's happening outside. Just make sure you do a great job. And you're very clear with it. With me, on the other hand, I'm very clear in a different way, right? I expect people to always do the best they can and to outperform and to do all of those great things. But they also know at the same time that if you are in a personal crisis or have an issue, you can come to me and talk to me about it, and we'll figure it out together. But people know the business is always what's comes first. I'll listen to you. I'll be as accommodating as I can, but it's about the business. But I will also try and strike a balance. I'm not the kind of person who would say, I don't give a shit.
I got to tell you, this more than I think anything else, this topic has kind of defines the three of us. So the way I am doesn't seem to jive with either one of the ways you are. Like I gave the example, one of my employees kind of had a breakdown. The way I view life is that it's a fucking nightmare. Terrible shit's going to happen. And all we're doing is enduring it. So I gave the benefit of the doubt to the endurance of whatever the fuck this person was going through. And although the business does obviously come first, like we can't ever do it. You just said that you emphasize that you get in there, you fucking actually talk to them and shit. I do not do that. I hear the story and I go, yeah, I get it. Life is fucking misery. Let's fix this. Like, let's go along. You actually get in there and you emphasize, and then Trevor's like, yeah, it's fucking black and white.
That's not, for me, I don't think it's necessarily the case. Let me expand.
Sure.
I don't give a shit. I think I don't give a shit because I'm vetting if it's an actual serious problem or not. I think a lot of employees test the waters, test boundaries with coming up with turmoil to see what they can and can't get away with, whether it's subconscious or conscientious. And I think it's my job. I think it's every business owner's job to figure out what's bullshit and what isn't, but not to play into it. So there, for me, it's an artistic line. What happens with me is, and more often than not, after I probably seem like I don't give a shit, I will always be asked advice. And at that point, I know that somebody's serious about wanting to figure out their problem.
Fair enough.
And then I'm like, all right, this is obviously something hugely important to you, and I will give my 2 cents. And usually I have roundabout. The week progressed. Everything was going swimmingly with said esthetician, and I didn't intentionally, but maybe subconsciously worked in that I had been engaged twice before.
Word.
And within
twice before?
Correct.
So there comes your empathy. There you go.
I only knew it
You're
once.
already trying to say, listen, I understand this. This is
and-
gonna
Well, I
go
gotta tell you,
And
you
within-
can say whatever you want. You've been more honest with her than you were with me.
And-
I've
well-
never known about 2.
Well, I'm not trying to make sure that you're okay or anything, but I think in my own manipulative way. So,
Well, it's funny that you use something that is a personal experience that clearly meant something to you to only manipulate somebody you barely know versus come clean to somebody that you've been friends with for like a decade.
in any case,
Yeah.
I dropped.
But I'm just saying.
No,
I
that was
dropped
Spitfire.
that was very good.
I dropped that I had been engaged twice before.
Yeah.
And it was in regular conversation. I figured it was the time to work it in. And within 30 seconds, she goes, "Can I ask you some advice?" She goes, "You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. What was it like breaking off the other engagements?" And I was like, ding, ding. And then
You're like, well, the second one was easy because I had all this practice from the first one.
and we got to talk through it. So that was my way of waiting for her to submit the information and then ask the question. I don't think you can dump advice on people that didn't ask the question in the first place.
For sure.
And then it was a nice conversation.
Even when they ask, you got to go easy until they're really trying to pry it out of you.
Yeah.
I think.
Well done. I think that was some very good
So
information.
do you think that I give a shit now, or that's it's important to me?
No, I
that,
think
to think that that I
so-
kind of give a shit.
No, so here's the thing, right? You come across as being somebody that your external persona is you don't give a shit, right? I do think, like Nick said, is that when you cut through all the facade, you do give a shit. You do care. That there's a team of people here that you've had for a long time, and they know that you care deeply, right? But
That's not what I said. But continue. I just want to be
said,
clear.
No, he was saying that's what I said, and I was saying yes. So his facade is I don't give a shit.
No, you said 2 statements. He doesn't give a shit, and he makes it clear he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
yeah.
I did not.
No, I'm
Debate that.
explaining that what
Fair.
I meant by that, and all I'm saying is that yes, you outwardly you clearly say I don't give a shit. Like just get on, crack on, do the best you can, and but once somebody is able to peel through and break through it, you do care, and in this instance you proved it again.
I fucking
that you
disagree
do.
with that. I think he's doing a good job of reading the room and exerting enough concern to his employee that she is that it shows concern that she will still be a good employee. I'm
Well, he's
not
done it with-
convinced that
he's
he
done it with
actually
others as
cares.
well. You know, when others in the barbershop have had a child and another child, he's made it work.
But I don't
It's
think
been-
that comes from a human place of caring about them. I think it comes from a place of, and this may be my own shit that I'm talking about, but I think it comes more from a place of he has to run a business of clearly artistic people. Like, so if you're a barber or an esthetician, you're not like a fucking accountant or a bookkeeper or a mathematician or a fucking engineer. You're somebody who's made your life based on something that you enjoy doing, at least to a certain extent, and something that has an artistic, creative bent. in order to make these people happy, you can't be like, well, fucking, you're breaking up. Who gives a shit? Get back on the books. Like, these are people who are going to be a little bit more emotional in their response. They're going to more enjoy life. I'm not showing any evidence that he really actually gives a shit. And in fact, I can tell you his original question, I don't think he's trying to, I think he's happy with his decision on how he handled it with her. I think he's questioning his own feelings that he had no that he was like, well, how do I benefit? How do I make this work? He's questioning whether or not he should have felt more. Am I off base?
Pretty much. I mean, no, you are on base.
So yeah, I don't know that he's sitting there actually feeling empathy for this person, maybe through his own experiences in the past, one of which I know, the other one I have no idea.
Just to come clean, my issue is that, like, and I think this might align or identify with some of your ideology, that everybody is going through a shitstorm at any given point in their life. Everybody, and nobody is special. Like, part of life is taking a bite of a big shit sandwich and learning from that and growing from that.
How much time we got left?
And I think it's important. I think it's important for somebody maybe like me to be I guess a rock. And as the business leader, if people have these issues, to not be fazed by strife and suffering, and to show people that, like, yeah, I have gone through this too, and you'll make it through it, and you're going to grow and you're going to learn, and to not play into the dramatic woe is me bullshit. And there is a time for a good hug or a good cry, but first and foremost in this life, at least at this point for me, is business. Not just me. The way that our society functions is business. And if you waste time with dramatic shit, you're fucking with your family's pocketbook. You're fucking with so many things. Like, there's a time to work, and then there's a time to go home and cry.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that, to your credit, that is an excellent way to think, and your employees should be proud that is the way you think, because the first thing you have to do is make this thing work, or nobody fucking eats.
Right.
So that's the first thing. The second thing I'll say, and the reason I asked more time, how much time we have, that does not jive with a lot of opinions that you say on this show. Like, when it comes to certain things, you do not understand the human condition and how terrible it is. And then when it comes to some things like this, you just said everybody's taking a bite out of the shit sandwich and we have to fucking be in this together. But a lot of times you don't have that. Like, your statements about women with glasses, about it being a physical weakness and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, you understand, my philosophy is an expoundment on what you just said. Like, we are all in this together. This is a fucking nightmare. And the way that we get around it is by understanding that we're all experiencing a fucking nightmare.
The reason I won't completely align with your ideology or like gift that over is that I don't see it being a nightmare. Like, I fucking love pain. At some point I realized how to quantify a very difficult scenario, any scenario, and change that into, I'm going to work harder. How am I going to make this better? How is this going to make me grow? What am I going to change for next time so that I don't get hurt ever again? And I find fucking fun in that. And I don't think that that's nightmare mentality.
But does that defensive position that you just said, based on what you've gone through, lead you to not have empathy for the people who don't have the strength of doing what you just said?
That's what I'm questioning.
Fair.
That I'm questioning my lack of empathy and sympathy.
Fair, man.
But I also do think that a shit ton of people whine about unnecessary bullshit.
Dude, of course.
And that, at least in this specific business atmosphere, if somebody acts as the rock and shows them that they can make it through a fucking storm, that, that's when I come off as I don't give a shit. But really, it's just like, hey, we all get kicked in the nuts every other day.
You can be so proud of being the fucking rock. Dude, being that rock and being that person comes with a fucking cost. Like, you will feel a cost to that.
I already do.
Like, so.
I already do.
There is a downside to that. Like, there is.
But I don't necessarily see that as a downside. So the exploration that I went on the other day specifically pertaining to that is, as I progress towards my goals and achieve closer and closer to those, the more alone that I'm going to be. But I can reimagine alone isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, being comfortable being alone is important. You're fucking born alone, you die alone. If you really get down to the nitty gritty of your own personality, you will see that you are truly alone.
I'm not alone if I like myself,
I guess.
But I think that in the process of you managing
I don't buy that shit.
these difficult challenges, so for example, if you really value the member, firstly, I think that's the most important.
We know you value the member.
Do you value the member that you are referring to, the new person, right?
Employee.
And
member in America is a dick.
Okay.
So like a member hanging, employee is more the word we want to.
So you got this person that you care about and that you feel can add value. And that's the challenge, the first thing, right? Because in most businesses, somebody that's there for 2 or 3 days, which is what she was here for, a few days. Right?
Correct.
It's extremely difficult to be in a situation where you are going to start processing, is she real? Is she making up a story? Is it so? In my world, I would have processed it very differently.
Well, here's my add on to that. I don't think that I had to size her up specifically. I could generalize and say, I do care about everybody as long as they think that their problem is serious and legitimate and they're not just drumming up Jerry Springer crap to waste time.
You knew that once she stated what that was, it was a problem so bad that it created to you a reasonable excuse to not come to work. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what you're talking about is that you're looking for, and I think this is totally natural, you're looking for employees who have a similar cultural idea as to what warrants time to take for yourself in getting through this nightmare of an existence,
legitimately,
versus when it's time to fucking go to work. And I think that is totally legitimate. I think that is the basis for a good employee. And I think that's the basis for why some employees fit at different businesses when they don't fit at others. Like, you've got, like, whatever it is, the cultural idea. To me, you got a fucking fever, you're sick. I don't give a shit how you're feeling. If you have a fever, you're sick. If you don't have a fever, you should probably be at fucking work. Like, a fever means contagious, means don't come to fucking work. If you don't have a fever, if you've got serious fucking problems, I guess. But to me, fever's the line. Something like being breaking up an engagement. Another thing to me, which is probably not a lot of people are going to say it is to their level, when Mr. Benson dies.
It's exactly what I was going to ask you next. If it's a animal death, does that count?
Yes.
It's funny you mentioned,
I
because
could feel it coming from you, bro.
Because
we're fucking, we're rocking and rolling.
The day after this happened, the esthetician stuff happened. An employee called me super early in the morning and said, "I'm at the emergency vet. I have to put my dog down."
Yeah.
And this is a different scenario for me. So it was a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Which, and I've had multiple pets that I've had to put down.
I know.
And
I know of one
that absolutely rocked my world, but I never let business stop. Obviously, I can't let my business stop because I am the head. So I think it's a little bit different than somebody who isn't as invested in the project. But whether it's fucked up or not, I strategically planned days that I was going to put my pet down responsibly. I was like, all right, pet's on the way out. If I wait longer, I'm going to end up at the emergency vet when I don't need to be. And so I made sure it was on a day off.
That's the difference between you, the business owner, the fucking entrepreneur who built this, and the fucking barber whoever it was that's having a pet put down. And I agree with you.
So
if given the opportunity, I will plan it. But I will tell you, if it's a surprise.
This was not a surprise, for the record.
Okay.
I've heard about the pet a lot. It wasn't a surprise. And
maybe they should have planned it for a day.
Then I felt, I kind of felt
shitty
shitty because I was like, you did this whole thing wrong. You're at an emergency vet, which means you didn't plan it out, which means you're paying extra money to do this when you could have done it the day before. And then I went into even more gnarly. I was like, you're past the point of being fair to the animal.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just threw so I am able to step back and say, all right, they're doing what they're doing. That's not my life. I have nothing to do with those decisions.
And you can't expect perfection out of people.
But I am being judgy as fuck on the scenario.
I agree with that. And but it's just, you can't expect people to handle situations perfectly. Most people, like, there are situations where there are people who will handle it better than you because they've been through it. You will handle that situation better because you've been through it and because you're fucking smart and you know what you're doing. The point that I'm making through, like, me saying that there's things that don't jive with your like what you're saying, is that I think there just always needs to be a certain level of compassion to the fucking terrible human condition that's limited by stupidity. And I agree with you. If they were planning it, I would, if I was a regular employee, I probably would plan it for a day that I'm off, where I know I have 2 days, like, because you guys are closed on Sundays and Mondays. I would know I have these 2 days of fucking total, like, blasted out recovery.
Yeah.
When it comes to an animal like Mr. Benson, it'll be a fucking nightmare, but my law firm won't be shut down. Even if it's a total surprise, it won't be shut down for more than a day. Like, I'll take a day. It'll be fucking terrible and I'll be sad, but I'm not shutting down my fucking life.
Right.
When it's my father, when it's whatever is coming down the road, I'm not going to be a week of fucking misery, because that's not helping anything. Like, that's not helping my fucking grief. Like, that's not helping my processing of the scenario. It's making it worse. You got to get through this shit and keep moving. But when it comes to an animal, I do think you get a day. Like, there's a day of just, I like, when Benson goes, it's going to be a fucking.
I got a good animal story from my own experience that I would like to share.
Sure.
I had 2 dogs. The oldest that lived the longest, that was a wreck. Typical, planned it out, happened, good, done. Actually, side note, more of a relief when it, like, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, all right, it was horrible. I cried, but it was like, all right. She was getting old. She was in a bad way.
It was time. Yeah.
The previous one, so I had gotten this call from one of Amanda's friends from back home in New York months prior. And he said, I'm coming down. We're renting a hotel for the kids out at Nickelodeonville or whatever the fuck. I want you to figure out how to get Amanda out that way, get her to the pool or get her to our hotel room, and I'm going to surprise her. And I'm like, great. So we had all this shit planned out, and surprise, I had to put the dog down. Yeah. So I get up. Amanda's in tears. I'm in tears. I took the dog to the vet. Like, weird shit happened that I'm sure is just coincidence, but like a certain song accidentally came on when I was driving, and then blah, 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 blah. Dog goes down, take care of all the paperwork, which is kind of fucked up. Like, you get a big old bill at the end, and you're like, can you just mail this shit to me? Like you have
at
to
least
do this
send
now?
it to me some other time. Yeah.
Anyway, get back to the house, and I'm like, well, fuck, I'm going to pull off this surprise. So I'm going in between emotionally, like, this is going to be an awesome surprise, and like,
of course.
So get Amanda out to, I can't even remember what I said to you. I was like, hey, we got to go do this thing. It was very lackluster at this point.
Listen,
I'm like,
we got this thing we got to do. I don't fucking know what to say. We got to go.
I wasn't able to like, spice it up or like do any trickery. I was like, get in the car. So we get out there and you were surprised it was your bud Carlos. And, but I think both of us were absolutely back and forth emotionally.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that maybe took some of the fucking sting? Like, do you think that maybe, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, the hotel that we were at was serving bucket drinks of tequila, and that definitely took the sting off
tequila?
the deal.
Yeah.
No, it was shit, drunk, hangover, headache tequila.
Oh, God.
But
Jesus.
I sat there, I probably had 3, like kid sand pail.
I fucking love this story. This story is a fucking illustration of the human condition. I fucking love it.
Well, so my point in sharing it is like the show must go on. Like he had plans, your bud had plans coming into town, the surprise. For me, being able to go through that, I don't think anybody else has any fucking excuses they can bring to me and be like, I can't do this because of this. I've been through, I think, some pretty gnarly shit I still fucking show up and get the job
Here's
done.
where we disagree, bro. You cannot just be like, that is a particular skill you have. That's something that you're good at. That's something that you're trained. That's something that you're driven for. There are other things in this fucking world that you're not as good as other people at. You can't project your ability to compartmentalize and exist onto other people. Like,
but you're also doing something on that day that you really had to do on that day. If you could,
he didn't fucking have to go do that shit.
If you just said because you had a friend that came in from out of town or whatever. So in reality, if I just have to come to work on a day, I'll say fuck it, because I can go to work tomorrow. So the reality is that and each one of us deal with difficult situations differently. I listened to Nick talking theoretically about Benson. It hasn't happened, and you will, Mr. Benson. And when it does happen, you'll deal with it, and you'll tell us a story. And the same with a significant passing. So a lot of the times, what we're talking about here is, and what you're doing is really kind of, my view again is that you have this external persona, but you're happy to listen once somebody chips away. What I find surprising, though, is that this new person is somebody, and I would have dealt with differently, based on the fact that this person is very new. You chose to
PR is like, she's fucking fired.
Yeah. I would have been very close to saying, this is not the way we do business.
That's
but believe
wild,
you me,
bro.
Yeah.
when I got the call or when I got the message that,
because she was initially not very honest. There
was
a different story,
right? But
I know, because I had
I don't have a
treatment
problem.
booked.
I don't have a problem with using the words "I'm calling in sick" when you're breaking off an engagement. I have no problem with that.
I mean,
I also
actually,
can tell you,
so this is gory details, but I think it's funny and pertinent that so the person went out of the country to meet potential family members. The actual text was a legitimate text, and it was the return flight was very bumpy.
So here's
I think that's pretty good.
So here's the messaging that I would like to give my members of my team.
It's fucking smart.
Is that we always have to be honest with each other. Just give it to me straight up.
See, I'm fucking totally the opposite of that.
So
I don't even want the honesty.
For me, it's not acceptable to tell me that you're ill when you're having a personal crisis. Just give it to me straight up, and then we will figure it out between us.
I don't need that shit. What I want is fucking employees that they're going to call in sick. They're going to, like, I don't have time clocks. I don't have like vacation days, personal days. I go, you just do whatever you want to do until it becomes a fucking problem. I'll let you know if it's becoming a problem. That's what I do with my employees. I've done it since the beginning. I've never had to terminate anybody for that reason. I've had to terminate people for incompetence. I mean, that's going to happen. But for like abuse of fucking not showing up and shit, never had to do it. I think they take responsibility and they fucking roll. Like, the one I talked about, fucking going through a complete nervous issue that they had to go through. They're back at work and they're fucking working their ass off.
Yeah. So
I'd rather have somebody who's like, this guy is fucking like, I don't have to worry about my wording of calling in sick. I can't go in today. Like,
see, that's what I like about the people that end up being attracted to me, or the people that make it after I weed people out. And then learn my personality. They know. So I've had a bunch of employees come up over the years and say, "Yeah, I think," and I'm like, make a fucking decision. You're either here or you're not here. And if you're not here, don't be here.
And if they're here,
go fucking do it.
If they're here and they have a problem, they're going to be like, shit. Whatever it is going on in their life, they're going to fucking text him and say whatever bullshit excuse they're going to say. But the day after, they're going to be like, listen, I know I wasn't here. I'm here now. Like, let's fucking do it.
And that's
like, let's work.
Exactly. Now I have the people that they text me and they say, I need to take the day. And I don't give a fuck why.
Because
I know they're serious.
It doesn't fucking matter. What they're not being here for doesn't matter. It's whether they actually want to be here. And they're missing it because they have to.
But at least in my cases, I have to train them to get to that point where
everybody's like PR. That's why every job is like PR's talking about. He expects a fucking itemized reason as to why they're not coming.
No, Nick. Let's not trivialize what I've just said.
Did you know you just said trivialize to the trivia master himself?
I noticed it too. I thought he did it on purpose.
Yeah, so let's not do trivia on it. So here's the thing: is that I'm talking about serious issues. I'm not saying so. If, for example, somebody has gone to do her hair in the morning, okay, and you tell me you're at the doctor in the morning, that fucks me off.
Oh, that's what I'm.
So when
but
you
that's
come
the
in,
point we're making.
No, because you're not. You're saying I don't care. If you're saying you're taking the morning off.
No. The point that I'm
is that if you say to me,
I don't think he's
that you're at the doctor.
What we're putting down.
And yeah, I am pissed off because you're talking shite.
No, I don't think you're picking up what we're putting down.
The point that I'm making is that the person knows not to fuck with me about.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that just be honest. If you're going to have your hair done, right? Tell me. Just say I've got the morning off. You don't need to tell me why, but don't lie and say I'm going to the doctor. That's the only thing.
What I think we're crossing Ghostbuster streams here. I agree with you. The training that I'm discussing is the person knows not to do that to me. They're not going to give me, they're not going to go get their hair done and tell me that they're at the doctor.
Correct.
They're going to say, I need the day because their family member died. Yeah. Or they have to go to the doctor. They would not call and they would not go do their hair. Are we seeing eye to eye?
So you're saying, tell me what the deal is. Don't make up a deal.
Correct.
No, he's saying even beyond that they're not going to fucking take it. Like, if they're taking a day off to get their hair done, they don't see eye to eye with his vision, and they're not going to fucking work.
Correct.
That he has to train them to be in that position.
But it's not the day off. All I'm saying is that there are times when you, for example, you're in the traffic. You can't, there's a collision or whatever, right? You phone me, you text me and say, hey, listen, I'm running late. Can you cover for me for the next 15 minutes? I'm coming late. Because there's a time you need to be at work.
Yeah.
Right?
Which if you're on time, you're 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
No,
so there was a member of my team that was constantly having car trouble, or car wasn't starting, or there was traffic, right? And to me, the car not starting, the car is not fucking starting. It's like 3 times a week. So to me, that is made up.
I get awesome firsthand experience every single fucking day with exactly this, and it's great. I love the intel. I love the data collection, and it has to do with the 10,000 clients that are in my data bank. And I know now, after doing it for almost a decade, I know when somebody comes up with an excuse and says why they can't be here for an appointment, that they're absolutely full of shit.
Yes.
And I keep notes, man, on every single account. And I say, and I give them a benefit of the doubt at first. And you can tell immediately when somebody's going to be a repeat offender and is blowing smoke up my ass because they're a lazy piece of shit and can't keep their schedule right.
Yeah.
And on the other end of that, I know the clients that we want to attract that are going to fucking be here 10 minutes early.
But the clients are different.
Never miss it.
But I'll tell you also,
I can apply it. I can apply it across the board.
But your staff owe you
as
a different
as a
duty.
client at Atomic. What I do, like I've had to cancel a couple times because I'm in trial or court. I called the office and I text Jordan. I go, listen, I'm fucked. This is a situation out of my control. I'm paying. Like I want to pay you because I didn't make it and I respect your time.
Mm-hmm.
And please, because I want the appointment matters to me. My credibility fucking matters. So I go, it's been a couple of times where it's not something so secure like court. It's some other bullshit that I have to deal with in my life. And I go, I'm paying. Take the money as if you were fucking cutting hair anyway. What that shows is that I take their time, my appointment, fucking seriously.
Yeah, but the clients are a different one, right? Because they have they have a different duty to you as a client. However, a member of your team, though, they have a different duty, and to me is that if we're a team, we must be honest with each other.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, being able to go through the client experience also directly correlates to the psychology of an employee or a potential employee, especially right up front when they try to get away with things.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I got a tummy ache. I'm going to be 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not going to work out.
So for me, when there was only once, you only lied to me once in the office, right? And the one time, the reason why I'm talking about a hairdo is because somebody had a hairdo. Yeah. So here's the one time that I was ever lied to, right?
Okay.
Back on. The only one time I was ever lied to in the office. You're going to make an example once. And I was told that, somebody was coming in for whatever reason, being ill or in the doctor or whatever. And she came in with her hair done. So, I had to make a comment. I was like, that's a cool hairdo, man. Really, made it very obvious. And the funny thing is that she knew that she and was made to feel very, horrible about fucking lying. And then I made, we have a weekly meeting every Friday afternoon, and I made it very clear that we have to be 100% honest.
And I don't mind. PR went like Vince McMahon.
I don't mind.
You're fired.
No, I don't. I wouldn't do that. But in reality, just don't fucking lie. That's the only thing that I'd say is that.
So
don't
what did
make
she
it
say?
up.
What did she say?
Yeah, she apologized and I said, listen, I understand that people need to have their nails done. They have to have manis and pedis and do all those things. I want you to come to work looking the best version of yourself. Absolutely, right? And if you do need to, I understand that you're going to take an appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever. But don't tell me you're going to the doctor when you're going to have your hair done. I don't mind. I would prefer, though, if you could have your hair done on a Saturday. And that was the last time.
I do kind of the same thing with dress code. If somebody's out of dress code, I say, hey, that's a nice shirt.
What's the rule here? Is it
black?
Black? But
no,
it's too
complicated.
It's
It's very detailed. It gives the barbers the opportunity to express their personal style, but there's still, cohesive control.
Fucking perfect.
Right.
That's the way to do it. I like it.
All right, guys. What a fucking entertaining episode.
That was a good show, bro.
I learned a lot.
I like it.
Let's see. I want to say special thanks to Ed, the
Thanks,
wizard
Ed.
and super producer, the Intuitive Muse. Thank you, DJ
Thanks,
Pumpernickel.
Intuitive Muse.
Thank you, Showtime Sadul.
I mean, thank you.
Please hit like and subscribe. Leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media for adventures throughout the week. If we post a picture on Instagram, we are there. We are live.
I'll see you in the promised land.
T-Bone
sexy
out.
man.